Hey y'all. So, oh, let me mute my TV. Sorry about that. So, saw this on Facebook from LGBTQ Nation, and I'll link to the article into the description of the video. Reported today about 11:30 in the morning. I was running around doing HOA stuff and all of that. This one is a little bit closer to home because it's in reference to House Representative Virginia Foxx, 82-year-old from North Carolina. Fortunately, she's not in my district and she does not represent me directly. But of course, many times I would look at her and say, go somewhere and sit down and eat your tea and crackers. But she keeps getting reelected. So there's something wrong with the people in her district, because primarily they are MAGA voters. But what LGBTQ Nation reporter Alex Bollinger reported on was that she got mad and raged on at Democrats for bringing up their, quote, 8-week vacation, quote, unquote. And who was one of the representatives to do this? None other than newly sworn in, yes, she has been sworn in, Representative Ansari, Yasmin Ansari from Arizona. That's who Virginia lashed out at. And the exchange took place during the House Rules Committee meeting Tuesday night when the committee chair, who is Virginia Foxx, recognized Representative Yasmin Ansari to speak. The representative from Arizona said, "Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome back from your 8 weeks of taxpayer-funded vacation." So yes, while Mike Johnson had the House closed for 8 weeks, 8 weeks, they weren't working during those 8 weeks. And you know what else? The Constitution says that even when they're not in session, even during a government shutdown, Congress still gets paid, while the people actually doing the work do not. Think about that. And Virginia Foxx is going to rage against the Democratic machine because Representative Ansari called her out and the rest of the Republicans for doing so. Some of them did give back their salary while the House was not in session during the shutdown, but part of the reason the House wasn't in session was so that Mike Johnson would not have to swear the representative from Arizona in to her oath, trying to delay her from being the 218th signature to call for a vote on releasing the Epstein files. And believe me when I tell you, there are enough people on both sides of the aisle in the House that are calling for the release of the Epstein files. The article goes on to say that the representative from Arizona said that's exactly what happened, and then Virginia responded back, "I worked every day. I don't want to hear another soul say that. Methinks the lady doth protest too much." But that's just the MO for Virginia. It is. The article goes on to say Speaker Mike Johnson kept the House out of session since September 19th after the chamber passed a continuing resolution to keep the federal government open. The Senate did not pass a similar resolution because Democrats and Republicans couldn't agree on funding health care subsidies for working class Americans. Democrats wanted to extend the subsidies, while Republicans wanted to let them expire at the end of the year, which led to the shutdown. Democrats have spent the last 2 months hammering Republicans for not going to their D.C. offices to attempt to negotiate a new deal to reopen the government. Ansari stated, and I quote, "I hope that you all enjoyed themselves while American families looked at their letters from their health insurance companies, terrified that their insurance premiums were going to double or triple while the House was out of session for 53 days. Ansari told Foxx, "That is unacceptable." The Senate voted for a bill to reopen the government on Monday, and the House is expected to vote on the measure later today. Because this article was, as I stated earlier at the beginning of the video, was posted at 11:30 a.m. today, this article was posted before the vote. The House has since passed the bill, and it's on the way to Trump's desk, where he said he will sign it into law. Moral of this story is 8 Democrats in the Senate voted with the Republicans to kick this back. Mike Johnson brought them back, and a few Democrats in the House caved and voted with the Republicans. So the Democrats gained no concessions. You know that golden ticket on the Senate side that those 8 Republicans celebrated, that John Thune promised to vote on the ACA subsidies in December, Mike Johnson has already stated it doesn't matter. He's not going to have the House redo that. So it doesn't matter what the Senate says, because if it gets passed in the Senate and gets over to the House, he's not going to even take it up. That's how that works. And those of us who have been watching, we knew this was going to happen. Because the hurdle in the Senate is that the filibuster is still in place, which means even if that vote were to happen, the Democrats need 13 senators from the Republican side to pass it. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. And so on January 1st, after the ACA subsidies have expired, hundreds of thousands of people are going to cancel their insurance or be canceled because they can't afford the premiums. Hell, even with the subsidies, because of how little or the low amount, and believe me, I'm appreciative of the money I get each month from my Social Security benefits for retiring early. I appreciate that. But even my benefits weren't enough to even qualify to get an insurance policy through the marketplace with the Affordable Care Act. I was automatically enrolled in North Carolina State's Medicaid, and if Roy Cooper had not campaigned to get the North Carolina legislature to expand Medicaid in North Carolina, I wouldn't have insurance at all. And so now I'm having to ramp up the seriousness of my search to get back into the workplace, because there's a good possibility, because of the big, beautiful bill that was passed during the summer, I might be one of the people kicked off the Medicare rolls, the Medicaid rolls, I should say. I'm still 2 years from Medicare. And if that happens, I think the only thing that might save me is that I was diagnosed in April as being a type 2 diabetic. I've done the work, I've lost the weight. On paper, I'm no longer diabetic. But that doesn't mean I can go back to living how I was living, because then I'll wind up being diabetic again. Mine is genetic. It runs on my father's side of the family. And so while I'm off the insulin, I'm still on the other medication, Ozempic, which, according to my my cardiology doctor, my heart doctor, she's all giddy about it because research has shown that Ozempic can help heal the heart. And I have a stent in my heart. The stent is going to be in there permanently. It's in the back artery. The other two arteries were fine at the time, but it was my back artery that was 60% blocked. And so Virginia Foxx needs to go somewhere and sit down. She is going to be primaried. I want someone to primary her, even if it's another Republican. I want a MAGA Republican to primary her, and then a progressive Democrat to run for that one, to run against her, if for no other reason, just to put Virginia Foxx out to pasture. But of course, I could say the same thing about my representative, Alma Adams, who is about 10 years younger than Virginia. Alma is 72. And she's still at it, and she has announced that she is going to run for re-election next year because her doctor has said she's okay and that there are no problems. So the issue isn't with age. It isn't. The issue, I'm just being shady, and I'm 63. The issue is that Virginia Foxx has aligned herself with a group of people, my favorite phrase now, who don't give a fat happy rat's ass about anyone in this country. And so I will leave that there. And like I said, I will link the description of the article into the video. But please remember, now that Representative Ansari has been given the oath and is now shrunken the majority, a width between the Republicans and the Democrats in the House, her presence is making it that much difficult, that much more difficult. And she's a firebrand. She has already come out swinging. Let this be a reminder to you that elections have consequences. But let it also be a reminder that resistance is not futile. When someone introduces themselves to you, believe them the first time. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.